which is based in the Beehive, and ourselves, together with the council, have got together and arranged for this event. I'd like to thank everybody for coming today, particularly our Mayor, Councillor Gupta, who will say a few words in a moment, but I've got some thanks to say for those people that have done all the hard work for which we are claiming all the glory. The committee that's put this together has been Leslie, Peter, Ken, who you will bump into no doubt, Kenneth, on the way round, Ian, Cara from Pavis, Steve Langsdale. Steve, you still?
Yeah, Steve's there. Yeah.
He's there, yeah, I thought you would be. Annie Weston, Julie Stone, Joe, of course, Joe Hall from the council, John Frank, Talking Newspapers, and an absent member who we are all thinking about, Joel Eastoe. Joel, unfortunately, was taken ill. He was very much one of the instigators of today's event. This committee has bonded so well, representing a vast spectrum of interests, that they are considering staying together as a permanent team. Do they have a name yet? That's usually the hardest bit.
Creatively Thurrock Sensory Group.
The Thurrock Sensory Group, marvellous, yes. A lot of thought obviously went into that. But I think it speaks for the purpose. Bit of an inaugural event this. I'm absolutely delighted that we have a level of interest here. There's no doubt that the people who do have some sort of sensory impairment have been relatively underserved across the sector in Thurrock. Very well served by people that are here, but there's much more to be done. And this, I hope, will be the start of a new movement to help people, particularly for those people with an ageing population that will experience conditions like my own and my own side, which I have glaucoma. But there are many people here who have, I suspect, relatives who have impairments regarding sensory deprivation of some sort, to some extent, who could well benefit from some of the equipment, the services, the contacts, the social groups that are actually represented here. So I'm sure everybody will find some value in it. Now, if I may, I'd like to just hand over to our Mayor, Councillor Gupta.
Thank you very much, first of all, inviting me here today. And it's a really great pleasure that all these people who have been coming from other parts of the country, they are coming here to Thurrock. And a special welcome to all those people who obviously have taken great efforts to come into Thurrock and speak to our people who have got and how they can help. And all these charities are creating, obviously, a great field for our people. I was there the other day with the Dogs for the Blind. And it was a real experience when somebody folded my eyes and asked me to walk. Believe me, I learned a lot. I thought that most of us who haven't got that sort of disabilities just don't understand. And I realized on that day that walking on our footpath where there were bins and bins spread around, clutter spread around, footpaths are up and down, is not really conducive. And
can you tell me a little bit about the British Wireless for the Blind?
Yes, we're a national charity supplying specially adapted audio equipment to people who are blind and partially sighted. If an individual meets what's known as our qualifying criteria, then they can have the set on what's known as free loan. So they'll be given the set free of charge, and should it become damaged or need replacing or upgrading, then we will replace that. We have a network of agents around the country who distribute and install and set up equipment on our behalf. And here in Thurrock, we work alongside the library service. They provide a service to people who are blind and partially sighted in delivering media, books and CDs and tapes, and alongside that they supply our equipment.
So that's things like the internet been an aid, or has it been a hindrance?
No, it's a bit of both really. It's been an aid in so much as that it's for things like digital radio provides the listener with a much greater choice of what is available. So for example, in the good old days we used to have Radio 1, Radio 2, Radio 3 and Radio 4. Now via the internet there are something like 9,000 radio stations available worldwide. So that gives you some idea. And that is a good thing, I think, but I suppose the downside is that for a lot of people, they don't understand the technology, particularly those of, well, dare I say, those of more senior years are very happy with the tape, or just listening to a straightforward radio. But I always try to say to people, they don't need to know actually how it works, but more what it can do for them and how it can improve their listening opportunities. And I think the internet as well and the digital changes have made things much better, particularly for people who are visually impaired, with what's known as text-to-speech. That a lot of audio equipment now, audio describes to the listener where they are in the programming process. So yes, swings and roundabouts, but I think broadly speaking, technology has brought about a lot of improvements, particularly for people who are blind and partially sighted.
Simon, hearing loss, how big a problem is this in the UK?
About 1 in 6 of the population currently suffer some form of hearing loss, and that can be ranged from a profound hearing loss right the way through to people that are tinnitus sufferers.
And what's your organisation doing?
Our charity, Action on Hearing Loss, formerly known as the RNID, the Royal National Institute for the Deaf, are a charity that focuses all of their efforts on either finding cures or helping provide information or product for people that are in need.
I guess we say a lot of younger people, are they helping themselves these days with what they're eating, iPods, etc., and headphones?
In a word, no. We have a head that we take round with us to schools and colleges where you can actually plug an iPod into the side of it with your headphones, and it will show the user whether they're listening to it at a safe level or at a dangerous level. And I guess 9 times out of 10 it goes red straight away. Whether they go and do anything about it is another thing, but it just highlights the fact that in years to come there will be more people with hearing loss.
And just below us is a huge range of equipment.
Yes.
What's the equipment for? What does it do?
We class them as assistive listening devices. So that ranges from telephones through to alerting devices through to personal listeners. And they're all designed to make it easier for somebody with a hearing loss.
Because here we are, we're filming, this will be on YouTube.
Right.
For the deaf, you can't see. There are now techniques, aren't there, different ways
of course, yes.
of programming to make sure the words come up as well.
Yes, you can have it. You can use subtitles, or a lot of people that are profoundly deaf use BSL, British Sign Language.
While we're here at the Sensory Day, how's the radio station going?
Very, very well at the moment. Yeah, we've been on air now 2 years, and we've just won an award. We came 3rd in the local business awards, and the people before us were the Royal Opera House and the Thurrock Business Wildlife Park.
So you're in good company?
We are in very good company, yes, and considering they're a lot bigger than us, I think we did all right. And that's thanks to Graham Loveland for giving us the studio, and for all the people who work with me, all volunteers, and they all work very, very well.
So what's the plans? What's on your wish list?
The plan now is to get ourselves a full-time licence and get on air full-time, like they have over at Gateway. They've been around a long time, and we've been around 2 years, and we're building slowly. We're doing podcasted programmes, but once we can get a full-time licence and upgrade our systems, we can do a full-time programmes. We're on from 6 in the morning till 12 at night, with local interviews and good music. And as Michael's mentioned in the past, I'm the programme controller, and I work with an awful lot of good volunteers.